and welcome to episode 10. That means 20 now.
It does. Put your hands down.
How we do one of each? 5, 25. 10
10.
of Top Rope Reality.
After this, we're
Part
done. We can't
1.
do hands anymore.
I'm gonna stick my feet up there. It ain't over with. This is only beginning, and it's only getting bigger and bigger
That's right.
and bigger. But there are drawbacks. Because I know people are looking on the internet who watch our show religiously.
Yes.
I mean, I've been texted. Where's the show? So,
It's
we
true.
had a little snafu.
Little
It happens.
mishap.
When you mess with electronics, it happens.
That's true.
So, episode 8, the big indie show that we went there.
We did go
People
there.
saw us.
That we have proof.
Even talked to one of the locals.
We did.
Nice older gentleman. But that's another story for
He
another
helped
day.
us figure out where we're going, didn't he?
Yeah, because it was...
And we've even got some of the locals now on our Facebook page.
No.
Thank you for sending us
But-
friend request.
We're going to try to fix something up because I want to promote the show. It was a good show. And
Oh, it was a great show.
And I hate that we had computer mess ups and the show went down the crapper. So if you're looking for 8, there's no episode 8. It's gonna be like a lost episode. One day it will be on the internet. It will be on YouTube. One day
Maybe say yes.
it'll be the lost episodes.
Yes.
But we're gonna get it on there somewhere or another.
Along with our bloopers and everything that we'll be adding later on.
Yes.
But you know, there will be some stuff we're discussing later on that we
yes.
might be able to
Help
the fans out a little bit that wanted some interviews.
Yeah,
They're going
hopefully.
to be happy.
Yeah, maybe the snafu here will turn into a much bigger
A much
thing
bigger thing, yes.
down the road. So let's go and get started with our big 10th show, 10th anniversary. It's our 10th show.
10th show.
That's our 10th anniversary show.
Not 10 years.
No, not
Just
10 years.
Episode 10. That'd be
But
episode
still.
per year. That's crazy. And
Why does that anniversary have to be every year? Why
And
not the show?
the fun thing about this 10 is that
Yes.
we have some top 10s.
Yeah, we figured that we'd go, hey, if we're going to do 10, let's
We
just
got
do
a
10
theme.
for
We have a
everything,
theme
yes.
for it.
So what we're going to do in 4 parts today, we're going to do 2 of the WWE top 10 list from Countdown.
We're catching up now.
Boy, do we have to talk about those. And then we're going to do our own little top 10 that we come up with. And then our part 4, we're going to do talk about what's just off the top of our head. Things in professional wrestling we like to see and things we'd like that they're doing or not do or wish they would do. So that's
That
what's
might be a long
that's gonna be
segment.
it may be the longest. So people out there who hate long segments, you might want to stay away from 4. So, or just skip through.
Because
you
we
know.
got some gripes.
We got some gripes. Well, that's not really gripes. I mean,
It's
it's not
critiques.
final thoughts.
Critiques.
No, I mean, the other shows more. The other parts are just fun. But let's go and get started with the top 10 villains.
As voted by the fans. Some of these fans, woo, they don't know what they're doing.
I think some of the office workers
Are the
WWE,
ones doing
yes.
this, yes.
But the villains they put up there, top 10 villains. Oh, they hate villains.
Of course.
But I believe there's a lot of ass kissing going on in this top 10 list, especially for number 1.
Yeah, I'm saying
So,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start off with number 10, Rick Rude. I like Rick Rude. I'm glad he was on the list. I mean, 10 is fine. Put the man in the Hall of Fame, for God's sakes.
They need to. You know, there's
So-
a lot of folks that have passed away, and I understand they only want to do one person that's passed away.
Yeah, you don't want to do 4 or 5 dead people.
And I
in 8,
understand
so.
that. But as many years they've been doing this, and there's some people, I mean, daggone Coco Beware's in there.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's
Rick
a-
Rude should be in
there
there.
you
Owen
go.
Hart. Owen Hart definitely should be in there. you
His
know.
wife needs to let up.
She needs to get off her high horse or whatever's wrong with her. I'm sorry he died in the ring. It's part of his job. I mean, it's just it was job.
It was a mishap.
It's
It
just things happen.
Things happen, and it's time to move
Things
on.
happen, and she needs to just let it go.
Yes.
I mean,
After so many years.
she's probably getting more grief for holding back than she would get praise for letting this go on, and rewards. I mean, reap rewards of getting stuff on DVDs and anything.
She's going to make money off of that, but even not the money.
Yeah,
As much
yes.
grief as she's holding in about this, as much hatred as she has for this, is probably eating her up inside.
Oh yes.
You know, you don't need to hold on hate.
Stop
Crazy.
being. You don't need to be bitter. Yes.
But that's
Because you look at Mick Foley, he said he made a snide remark about Ultimate Warrior,
And
now he hates. I mean, he probably hates it. He said it because
Yeah,
the Warrior's
exactly.
dying.
But that's another
yeah,
discussion
yes.
for later on. Number 9, I do love this guy.
JBL.
JBL.
He wasn't a good villain until he became JBL. When he's
Yes.
Bradshaw in the APA, started got better. When he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw,
Oh,
I'm sorry, the one he didn't get released.
And he was part of the new Blackjacks.
Yeah, which I'm surprised he didn't get released on that either.
Yeah, exactly. Number 8, old school, the Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik.
Very nice.
Yes. If you ain't got him on Twitter, you need to get him on
Oh,
Twitter.
Lord, the man's crazy.
If you don't like bad language, don't get him on Twitter because
That's
he
true.
doesn't hold anything back
Nothing bad.
about anybody.
I think he wants to kill Nancy Grace, by the way. But that's another discussion for another day. Number 7.
Who don't love some money?
That's right.
The $1 Million Man, Ted
Money
DiBiase,
talks.
not the son who
Not
tried
the
the
son.
gimmick that fell flatter than a piece
You know-
of iron.
But you know they say money talks.
Yeah, his butt was walking. So I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Ted should have went another way. Maybe they should have changed his name. They love changing people's names. Maybe they should not have made him related to his daddy. Maybe he should have done better.
But I mean, Ted DiBiase, I think, as big as he was, he might have should have been better on this list.
He might
That's my opinion.
He might have been.
That's my
And
opinion.
number 6 is Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was a good heel. He was a good
a
villain.
great
Yes.
villain.
Now, I mean, this day and time, I mean, when he tries to do Piper's Pit, it doesn't have the same oof that it
No,
used
it
to
just kinda
have.
falls
It
flat.
does. It's kind of.
But the next person, number 5, is someone who was one of the greatest, heroes of all time.
Do you think he's on the list because he came back? Because he
Most likely.
because he fixed the bridges with Vince McMahon?
Most
That's
likely.
where he's on the list. If he was still in Florida or Nashville or wherever the hell they're going to have wrestling at
Yeah.
for them, I don't think he'd be on the list.
Probably not.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan was number 5 on the list. Halfway. He's halfway there.
Number 4 is a bit controversial for me, I think. and I'm going to say this.
Hey, it's position,
No.
position,
But
position.
if, as I'm looking
You
at,
can't stick this dude at 2. You can't have number 1 and then him as number 2.
hey,
Because why not? Then
Hey,
once you just
that's-
have, then you should just have Stephanie as number 3. If you
might
go
as
that
well.
route.
Because
But-
number 3 and number 2, I'm surprised that Triple H is passing. Because, I mean, they can say someone voted and
Yeah,
change it
you
up.
can do it anyway. You
It
can-
can be rigged. But number 4 is Triple H.
Coming in number 3, a shocker. I was shocked.
They even put his name on there.
I was
to be
shocked to
voted
see
for.
him on there. CM Punk.
That's why I'm saying Triple H should have been better on the list because they should even had CM Punk on the list because they hate him.
Yeah, because of what he's done.
They wanna
Unless
toss him out the door.
this is a big giant ruse, and
True.
and they're sticking it to the fans right now.
True.
And when you think his contract up, is when he comes back.
Might be. Number 2 is the Viper, Randy Orton.
Another buddy. Surprised Bautista didn't make the list.
That's
then.
true.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't stick Bautista at 3. Hunter 4, Bautista at 3, Randy at 2.
And then, of course, drum roll for number 1.
Number 1, the man of the hour, the man with the grapefruits, the strut to the ring, Mr. McMahon.
That's right.
Now, Mr. McMahon was a good villain.
He was a great villain, but I'm sorry.
Only
that's-
because of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
course.
We had to play off each other.
But the thing is, that's why I kind of see that it might be a little rigged because most fans, I don't think, would vote him as the greatest
I don't
villain.
think they would either. They probably vote CM Punk as the greatest. They just stuck the other 2 in there.
I mean, he was a great villain, but even Piper and $1 Million Man, I think, were better than Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, but it's his company, so
Yeah,
I
it's his
guess.
company, so there
and
you
it's,
go.
It's his company, his top 10 list, so I guess he can be number 1.
There you go.
Okay, up next, we're going to talk a little Raw stuff. I mean, Raw was interesting.
Really, for just one thing, though.
Yeah, for one thing, pretty much.
And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about.
Had the Halloween, pretty much Halloween again.
Halloween episode,
Yes. Is it time for Kane's movie to come out?
pretty soon.
Because there was a lot of screaming and yelling.
Yes.
From Brie.
And that was horrible.
It was. I'm sorry.
Screaming Daniel and screaming, no, let's go.
That was pretty
It was ridiculous. I'm
Pretty
like,
bad.
Get her some acting classes before you start throwing her into these positions. And I
Tone
will
it down a
say
little
this.
bit. She did more screaming than screaming his name. I can understand you screaming your husband's name.
Exactly.
Or get out of the car and say, come on, let's go, Daniel. But the screaming
Exactly.
was a lot over the top, yes.
Even like things of like when Kane was on the ground and he raises back up. Ah! When you were standing up in the daggum, sunroof or whatever.
And I don't know if you paid attention
Unnecessary.
or not when he stopped and got out of the car and looked for Kane. And when
Uh-huh.
Kane got back up, he got back in and took off and drove around the trucks.
Okay.
If you pay attention, you can see the brake lights still on when he makes the turn. Because they have to do the camera and move it real quick. Like, yeah, because he went around the truck and he stopped right there. So
And my thing is, okay, I
Which is funny.
understand they rigged the car so it wouldn't crank, but it didn't even sound like it even cranked. That's my problem.
And I know Daniel Bryan was a mechanic too. The man is all trades.
He is legit.
I can wrestle a match and fix a car.
After wrestling a match, coming out there saying, "Oh, there's a wire that's been moved." Boop. But then when they went to go move when he went to go drive off, they sure did take a while to move. Daniel, get out of here! Get out of here!
Yes.
Okay, if you fixed it, then why did I even hear it crank? I
I
never
know.
heard it crank for him to zoom off.
It's a nice car. I think it was 2014. So.
But I'm sorry, it didn't crank. And then number one, when Kane, they had to wait for Kane to be in just the right spot. And I guarantee you, when he fell, there were some mats down there, and they had to drive off and then wait till the mats got moved so Kane could lay down. I mean, sometimes those type things work. Backstage stuff worked with Undertaker, Mankind, Kane, all those type people. But even Mick Foley posted that this was unnecessary, and he's been one known to say no to storylines. He said Daniel Bryan needs to say no to storylines when it comes to being the champion. He said that's what ruined Zack Ryder, and that's the truth. The Kane storyline ruined Zack, and it has nothing to do with Kane. He's a great performer.
Yeah,
Glenn Jacobs, Glenn Jacobs, he's been there for years. I don't have a problem with
it also could be, okay, we gave the fans what they wanted, and then, well, now we're going to do it our way, and we're going to put you down, Zack Ryder. So it could go either way. It could be sour grapes from WWE saying, "Oh, you got over without us using you. Oh, we're going to make sure you don't get over
They gave him what
anymore."
they wanted with Zack Ryder. They gave him what they wanted with Daniel Bryan. And then right after they gave him what they wanted, they kind of went in their own direction, and it really did ruin Zack Ryder's career. And they better not do it to Daniel Bryan, because I think the fans would turn on it. I mean, they've had other people that have had that same exact situation happen to them. I mean, look at Rey Mysterio. He wins the belt, he gets over with the fans, he wins the belt, and then weeks and weeks and weeks go on, and he loses to nothing but giants.
I know.
Horrible title reign.
Well, folks, that's about it for part one. We'll be back with part two. Well, we're going to talk about our predictions, a little bit of indie news, some TNA stuff, and we'll have another top 10 just for you. But predictions were,
we did okay.
Yeah. Pretty good. We'll be right back, folks, for part 2, episode 10. Can you believe we're at 10?
10.
I'm shocked we're
Huge.
at 10. Be right back, folks, for part 2 of Top Row Reality.